Ladies and gentlemen, these are my final recordings of Hot Boxing. I really enjoy being a part of this journey and all the people that I met, the remarkable people that I met and interviewed. And by now, for me, this is my next chapter in life.
So, Mike, bro, if you're watching this, let's have some fun. New school versus old school.
After much anticipation, Mike Tyson has unveiled the true motivation behind his bout with Jake Paul. Simultaneously, insider reports suggest that Tyson is poised to secure an enormous payday in his clash against Paul. The controversial match between Tyson and Paul has sparked a divide among fans and combat sports participants. UFC head Dana White, who is vocal about his views, maintains a positive rapport with Tyson, despite his cynic nature. White recently discussed his views on the Pound for Pound podcast.
I hate talking about it because he always gets mad at me when I talk about this stuff, but, you know.
He don't give a too. He'll
I'm not
snap
thrilled
on anybody.
to see him do this stuff, but, you know, when the fight happens, he'll be 58 years old.
White's main objection to the upcoming bout is the significant age gap between the two fighters, as many others expressed apprehension after the announcement. He said, when the fight happens, he'll be 58 years old. It will be a 31-year age difference. You know, Jake Paul did fight a kid his own age, and he lost. White even went so far as to say that Paul didn't really love boxing, even though the 27-year-old had always stated that his ultimate goal was to become the world champion. White continued, I saw this thing on the internet yesterday that if he beats Mike Tyson, he'll fight Clint Eastwood next. Clint Eastwood is 93 years old. When the discussion shifted to Paul's reputation as a formidable fighter, White swiftly interjected, cutting off former UFC champion Kamaru Usman to emphatically express his sentiments. White ranted, but he doesn't want to be a respected fighter. What Jake wants is to make money. People who follow Jake Paul don't buy Jake Paul's fights. So Jake Paul has to fight people who can sell actual pay-per-views. Bernard Hopkins, a renowned boxing legend, strongly opposes Tyson's upcoming fight with Paul. He believes Tyson's decision to fight Paul is a grave error, as Tyson commands immense respect from Hopkins. Hopkins' vehement opposition to Tyson's fight is a result of his deep respect for Tyson. Hopkins recently told Fight Hub TV, I don't like it. I look at Mike, I look at him differently in a way of my era, like people looked at Ali. I looked at Ali differently too. Marvin Hagler, Sugar Ray Robinson. I think it's becoming more of a sideshow with some sweat and maybe some blood if we're lucky. I won't watch it. I could watch two turtles race and be more excited. Bernard Hopkins expressed his disapproval, attributing his viewpoint to the respect and admiration he has for Mike Tyson, stemming from their shared experiences in the boxing ring and era. Hopkins said, it's because of how I look at Mike Tyson. I've shared not only the ring with Mike Tyson a few times, but the era, a little tip of the era. I just think it degrades him. You're getting 100 million, 200 million. Please, okay. Paul and Tyson's upcoming boxing showdown was showcased in a stunning promotional video, causing shockwaves in the boxing community. During their photo session, Paul admitted to feeling tense.
Like shaking his hand when we were at the shoot. This motherfucker is strong. Like probably the strongest handshake.
You think it was intentional, or
I don't know, because I don't think he was like trying to squeeze, but you could just feel his hands are like brick.
Tyson's potential earnings from the upcoming bout with former UFC title holder Henry Cejudo have been a topic of speculation. Cejudo, a former dual-weight UFC title holder, is expected to generate around $20 million in earnings from the YouTube-based fight. He said, I mean, you know what I respect, Uncle Mike, but it obviously takes two to tango. I feel like there is probably a really good payday for Mike. He's probably going to wind up making close to about 20 mil, and he's about to turn 58 years old. Former UFC champion Michael Bisping has expressed his perspective on Tyson's potential fee, suggesting it could be around $20 million. Tyson, who has amassed a fortune of approximately $430 million over 2 decades, has reportedly been a source of interest for fans. Bisping's comments come amid speculation about the upcoming fight.
I think Mike Tyson's doing this because he misses it. You know, the thrill of it. When you're away from combat sports for so long, You know what I mean? It's still in you, you know, still got that old dog deep inside him, and he wants to go out and remind the world, this is fresh, this is a challenge, it's something to get in shape for. And it's an exciting venture.
Although the general consensus is that Tyson's comeback is motivated by money, Bisping presents an alternative theory. Bisping said, "As you can see, Mike Tyson's taking this seriously, says he doesn't need the money, and I'm sure he doesn't. Although whatever he's going to get paid, I'm sure that doesn't hurt either. So it certainly will be a little bit of a motivating factor. He wouldn't do it for free, that's for sure." Bisping doubted Tyson's participation for free and suggested that his absence from combat sports may be due to a persistent itch, suggesting that despite being away from combat for an extended period, Tyson still has a competitive spirit and sees it as a fresh challenge and opportunity to improve. He added, "I think Mike Tyson's doing this because he misses the thrill of it. When you're away from combat sports for so long, you know what I mean. It's still in you, still got that old dog deep inside, and he wants to go out and remind the world, this is fresh, this is a challenge. It's something to get in shape for." But DAZN boxing analyst Chris Mannix believes the upcoming bout between them will attract the biggest audience in boxing history in decades. He said, "The last couple of fights, Jake has been going down the traditional boxing path. I didn't think a Tyson fight was going to happen, but here we are with one of the biggest social media stars ever and one of the biggest boxing stars ever." Mannix thinks this will be a special occasion and believes it could be the most watched boxing match ever, with an estimated viewership of 100 million.
In Mike Tyson, I was taken aback by this, Rich, because I knew that Jake had been on the hunt for a big name. I just figured it was going to be someone like Conor McGregor, who has expressed interest in fighting Jake in the past. A rematch with Tommy Fury, who Jake fought last year. I didn't think a Tyson fight was going to happen, but here we are with the biggest, or one of the biggest social media stars ever, biggest or one of the biggest boxing stars ever, fighting on perhaps the biggest global platform ever.
Regarding Mannix's ambitious projections, opinions are still split. Still, it certainly captures the spirit of a real spectacle, a gathering of well-known personalities, a cutting-edge platform, and the possibility of an unexpected ending. Mannix expressed, "Fighting on perhaps the biggest global platform ever. I think this will be an event unlike any other. I think this has the potential to be the most viewed boxing event ever." Moreover, Mannix emphasized that regardless of one's opinion on the nature of the fight itself, the audience size is expected to be exceptionally large. He said, "I could easily see this fight attracting 100 million viewers. Regardless of what you think of what this fight is in the ring, the audience for this is going to be absolutely massive." There is still uncertainty around the nature of the next encounter, including whether it will be recognized as an exhibition or a legitimate fight, which has users of TikTok speculating. There was a specific video that purportedly allowed Paul to wear a headgear throughout the fight, but not Tyson.
Jake Paul is all set to box against Mike Tyson this July, but the rules in this fight are absolutely absurd. Even at almost 60 years old, Tyson would absolutely dominate Jake Paul, so they had to adjust the rules to make this a somewhat fair fight. First rule is for Paul's own safety. He'll be able to wear headgear like an amateur boxer, but Tyson won't be wearing any of that. That gives Paul a chance to knock Tyson out, but with his headgear, Jake Paul won't get knocked out and won't get badly injured.
Additionally, according to the same video, Jake was free to tag team his brother Jake into the fight if needed, in order for the two of them to take on the heavyweight opponent together.
Second rule is that Jake is allowed to tag team with his brother Logan Paul, but tag team isn't even the correct way of describing it, despite that being what the contract says, because he'll be able to bring Logan in and they'll both be able to fight at the same time. And the last rule is kind of a 2-for-1. This states that there won't be a weigh-in for Jake. This fight is supposed to be fought at 165, meaning Tyson will need to pass this weigh-in, but Jake Paul won't weigh in, so he could be as heavy as he wants to be. And the second part of this rule is it also won't be drug tested, but again, only for Jake. So if you're keeping track, Jake will be able to fight on any performance-enhancing drugs he wants to.
When the aforementioned rules were listed to Paul on the Better podcast, the YouTube-turned-boxer said, "It's so sad that millions of people believe that. It's absurd. Obviously, none of that is true. They're so stupid. Actually, I thought of this. There should be these hidden tests throughout life that qualify you to be able to vote or not. and they don't know whether they're taking a test or not. Moreover, Paul expressed dismay over the fact that these individuals are operating vehicles, criticizing their intelligence harshly. He lamented the state of the world, suggesting that humans are becoming increasingly less intelligent every day, describing the situation as crazy. Paul added, "The fact that these people are not only driving around on our streets, but they're able to vote. They're out there driving cars. They're dumb as f***, and it's sad. We live in a f***ed up world. Humans are getting more and more stupid every day. It's crazy." In addition, Jake Paul is confident that his upcoming boxing showdown with Mike Tyson will go down in history books. He firmly believes that their clash in the ring will transcend all others, proclaiming it as the biggest fight the world will ever see.
That's never happened in the history of the sport to reach those numbers. So this is, in my mind, the biggest fight the world will ever see.
I
don't, and
they know that.
again, because of the Netflix. What?
But they know that it's just like hard to handle for them because they've been like in the spotlight and they're just jealous.
No, truly.
There were rumors of a possible confrontation between Tyson and Paul in 2022. Tyson was informed of this rumor during his Hotboxing podcast, and he immediately shot it down. He even went so far as to offer Paul a salary that would be competitive and much more than he will receive this year. Tyson claimed, "Nobody told me that. Hey, I ain't got no f***ing money, so where's the f***ing contract? I ain't know nothing about it. Listen, I've been smoking with him forever. I did some shrooms with him as well, but I've never heard this." Tyson also recalled a recent gathering in St. Bart's where no such topic was brought up. He concluded by humorously noting the high cost associated with maintaining a luxurious lifestyle, suggesting a need for more financial resources. Tyson added, "I was with him in St. Bart's not too long ago partying, and he never told me this. I've never heard this from nobody. I've just heard this from you guys. We got to get some more man shit. Blue-eyed, blonde hair, that is very expensive. We need to get some more money, man." When asked how much he'd actually want, Tyson immediately replied, $1 billion. Now that you've heard Tyson, you can relate it to Henry Cejudo's remarks, where he expects that Tyson will get his hands on approximately $20 million in earnings. During his appearance on the Journey podcast in March 2022, Jake Paul was quizzed about his inclination towards squaring off against Mike Tyson. Without hesitation, the problem child enthusiastically embraced the idea, playfully mentioning his plan to indulge in junk food to bulk up for the heavyweight division. He went on to dub the prospective matchup as a lucrative $200 million fight.
What about Mike Tyson, the greatest heavyweight ever to fight in boxing? He obviously still wants to fight and throw some hands around. You're young, he's a little bit older, but we know that that has knockout power. Is that a fight that Jake Paul would step up to?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I joke with my friends about it. I'm like, I'll start eating Krispy Kreme donuts and move up to heavyweight and take on Mike Tyson. I think that would actually excite me, and that's a $200 million event, $300 million event.
Meanwhile, in April of 2022, Mike Tyson made a memorable appearance on the Joe Rogan Experience, discussing his anticipated return to the boxing ring and the influx of fighters eager to challenge him. When Rogan inquired about Jake Paul's call-out, Tyson surprisingly confessed that it didn't irk him. Instead, it stirred a sense of excitement within him.
Because you talked to me on the podcast before, the first time you came on and you said, I can't even work out. Because if I work out, my ego will get excited.
But I did this toad, and this toad, I said, you gotta do it. I said, you have to do it.
The toad told you.
You have to
the
do
DMT
it.
told you time to fight.
You have to do it.
Wow.
I lost the weight. Then it turned into a fiasco. And then the young guy, Jake Paul. Jake Paul, he got involved in. And that's how the birth of Jake Paul became.
When you get challenged by someone who's a guy like a Jake Paul, does that piss you off?
Mike Tyson disclosed that the call-out didn't ruffle his feathers, attributing it to a valuable life lesson. According to Tyson, maintaining a sense of humor about oneself is crucial. He asserts that getting worked up over insignificant matters serves no purpose. Consequently, his outlook on life has evolved, and he refuses to let such trivialities affect him.
No, it doesn't. I don't
No?
think. I think it's awesome.
You think it's awesome?
Yeah, I think it'll piss me off. I think it's cool.
You think it's cool? That's awesome. That's awesome that you handle it that way. Because, like, in a way, I mean, it's kind of insulting. It's brave, it's bold of him, but it's like, Jesus Christ, there's levels to this world.
In the midst of it all, Joe Rogan weighed in on who might emerge victorious in the impending bout. The renowned UFC color commentator delved into the hypothetical matchup between the two fighters during an episode of his podcast in 2023.
Let me know what I found out. This good gentleman, he was the mayor in this town in the Midwest, right? And I talked to him before, and he was one of those stern guys. He always got the bills paid, always got your lights on, always got everything right and perfect, but he didn't have a good personality. And he almost lost to a guy that didn't do anything. He shitted on people's tax, he messed it, but he hung out with the people. He smoked cigarettes with them, he drank with them, he ate with them, he hang on their porch with them.
Yeah.
And that's when you learn you can't take yourself too serious.
In the year 2023, Joe Rogan featured Ric Flair as a guest on the Joe Rogan Experience. During their conversation, they delved into various topics, with a particular focus on the latest updates within the realm of combat sports.
Just forget that Jake Paul is a YouTube guy and watch him box.
Yeah.
Kid can fight, 100%. And that Tommy Fury fight really showed that. I mean, it goes to a split decision against a legit undefeated boxer.
Yeah.
Joe Rogan delved into a discussion regarding Jake Paul, commending the YouTuber for his impressive boxing prowess, particularly evident in his recent bout against Tommy Fury. Yet, when Flair disclosed Paul's desire to square off against Mike Tyson, Rogan offered his perspective.
I'll tell you what, the one thing he doesn't want to do is fight Mike.
No.
Yeah, he wants to fight Mike, I think.
Why?
I don't know.
I don't give a if he's 55. That's still Mike Tyson.
Mike's in good shape, too.
Oh, my God.
Mike trains every day.
He trains with Rafael Cordero, who's a legend.
Joe Rogan's admiration for Jake Paul's boxing skills has taken a turn towards concern. Observing Mike Tyson's enduring power, despite his age, Rogan anticipates the potential harm Tyson could inflict. He speculates that when Paul confronts Tyson's formidable presence in the ring, witnessing his agile movements, Paul may find himself questioning his decision to engage in the fight.
Rafael is a world-renowned trainer. When you see him holding the mitts for Tyson, and Tyson smashing the mitts, you're like, Jesus, that guy can still you up.
He don't want to fight Mike.
In this world with hormone replacement and vitamins and he does all this electrical muscular stimulation recovery stuff.
Rafael Cordero, Tyson's trainer, has diminished worries about Tyson's health, asserting confidently that his fighter will enter the ring in peak condition for the upcoming match. He said, "I believe we don't have to be concerned about it. We're talking about a two-time world champion. The guy didn't have 20 fights in 2 years. He knows how to fight. He's fought against the best guys in the world. When he steps inside the ring, he knows what to do." So what are your thoughts about this mega fight? Do you agree with these pros or not? Do let us know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe and check out some of our other videos on the screen right now.